Hey guys, welcome to the Ben Wallick Music Vlog. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching this. That's so cool that you are here and digging it. I hope that you continue to enjoy the vlog. It's pretty cool. So right as you opened this YouTube link, you saw a guy drumming and heard some drum sounds, and I just want to say that those drums that you heard were recorded right here in this living room, right where I'm sitting. And those are completely natural drums. There is no processing. It's exactly how the mics picked it up, except for one high-pass filter on the hi-hat that I put in like to 235 hertz or something to get rid of the snare, like low thud or whatever from the condenser microphone. But other than that, it's completely unprocessed drums recorded right here in a living room. And you may be asking yourself, how do you get such a good drum sound in a living room? And that's the point of this vlog. I'm going to explain how I did that, and hopefully it'll help you guys. So the number one key to getting to hacking a good drum sound in a living room is knowing your space, right? Knowing how the room looks like. Also, first of all, before that, you have to have a good drummer with a good sounding drum kit, because the source is number one, okay? And after the source is the space, right? Because the space affects the sound like so much. And this room happens to sound really good with drums because it's a pretty big room, so the bass frequencies have room to breathe. And it just, I don't know why, it's a little reverberant, but it still sounds totally solid, okay? So I know this space pretty well, and I like this spot right here because it's near the couch, and it's near these other chairs that you probably saw in the other frame, and they absorb a lot of the higher frequencies. I also put a carpet down, a rug, just to get rid of some more of the frequencies. So a lot of those annoying harsh frequencies were already like taken care of, and the space itself has a nice natural, ambiance to it. So it's not like there's not too many frequencies that are just mashing up and making things sound like crap. So this room happens to sound pretty good for drums, and that's why I did it here and I did it in this spot. Also, this is what I have. I don't have another space to record drums. My little studio is cool. It's awesome for production work, but it's too small for drums. So I hack it and I come into the living room and I make the best of the situation, and I use this space. So knowing the space is number one. Number two is knowing your microphones. Okay, so I know what microphones I like for which drums. I use the AKG D112 on the kick drum, which just punches and works. 57 on the snare because it's classic and it just works. It really sounds good. This time I experimented with the toms and I got really cool sounds. I used the RE20 for the first time ever on a floor tom, and I don't know why I never did that until now because it's a sick setup. I love it. I was like, wait, why have I never done this? This microphone would probably sound great on it because it also sounds great on kick drums, right? So why not? So I used it on the floor and it sounded awesome. On the regular tom, I used a Beta 57, which is more directional than the 57, I believe. And it's just great. You get great attack. And yeah, so I'm into that. Hi-hat, I used the C1000, and then I told you the only processing that you heard just now was I scooped everything below 235 because you just got to get rid of that snare drum kick. You don't need it in that condenser microphone. I was just trying to get the hi-hat. And here's where I had to experiment a little bit was with the overheads. I usually do a space pair like this, and I just think that you get a lot of width when it's like this. Right, you get to the real breadth of the drum kit, and I try to keep them equidistant from the snare drum, but like pointing down. And I use my KSM 141s, which are Shure pencil condenser microphones that I love as overheads. I also use them on pianos. I use them on acoustic guitars. They're fantastic. I really like the way pencil condensers sound. There's something about it that has this like crispness. I don't know how else to explain it, and I really love these microphones. So you should definitely check those out. So I use them. I usually go like this, but they just weren't sounding good. So I moved them even closer to the drum set, still like this. Still wasn't sounding so great. So then I was like, you know what? Let's point them at the snare drum. So I pointed them at the snare drum like this, making sure they were equal distant from the snare drum, each one related to one another so that there wouldn't be any phase problems. Phase coherency is important with drums. You have to be careful. I don't think I had any phase issues with this recording. And it just, once I did that, it all clicked, and the overhead sounded amazing. And if you have a good overhead sound, then you're gonna have good drum sound, because overheads are just like what the kit sounds like. And so overheads are really key to getting a good drum sound. So highly recommend that you invest in good overheads if you're gonna be doing some drum recordings. I think that's super important. If you had two good overheads for stereo overhead recording and a kick drum mic, then that might be enough. You might not need close miking on the snare and the toms. Like, that's how important overheads are. anyways, so that worked out really nicely, and I used the little room mic that you saw in the front of the frame to get like the full picture of the drums from a little bit more of a distance, so I could get a little bit more vibe, and that also sounded awesome. I used the AKG C214, which is just like the cardioid only 414, and in mono, and that was it. That's how I did the drum set. So basically, it's really important to know your stuff, know your microphones, know your room, have a good drummer and a good source, and you could basically get a good drum sound, anywhere. If it's not really anywhere, but it has to be a good room. But like, you could do it yourself. You can hack it. It's possible. You're gonna have to put in hours of work, understanding what your space sounds like, understanding your microphones, learning all that stuff. But once you do that, you can do things in so many places. I've done a lot of mobile recording, and that's been my niche until now, I think. And doing it here in the living room, I'm like really happy with it, and we'll hopefully get like a really awesome studio sound with it, and hopefully this song will go big. We did it with my friend Yossi Medved. Awesome song. I'm not gonna play it because it's not done yet, but anyways, so I'll leave you at the end of this vlog with just a clip of the drums playing naturally in the unprocessed sound like I told you about before. And so if you enjoyed this video and its takeaways, please hit like and subscribe below. There'll be a lot more awesome videos coming in the future. So I hope you guys have an amazing day and keep on rocking, all right? Bye, guys.